Indie Global Media Network.
Even the IIT pass outs, I mean, the graduates from IIT are not able to be This placement is an issue this year. Where is the skill gap that's lying? And another additional question to that is, universities are said to be playing a very important role in terms of creating opportunities and creating an ecosystem for startups. Of course, the skilling, the skilled students are taken on board by the companies. Where do we stand now?
There are two parts to your question,
Yeah.
isn't it? The first concerned the unemployment among the even the IITs and
Yes.
thing. It is, I think, a macro phenomenon which has happened, in which we are also sucked in to some extent. Yes, placements, according to reports throughout the world, have taken a little knock this time.
Yeah.
It's a macro phenomenon across the world. Maybe part of a huge business cycle, if you may observe that. Second part was about
The role of
universities. Okay, see, it's very important for our planning systems, even at the state level, at the central level, to have a good mapping of employment opportunities. Now I'll pose a simple suggestion. At the corporate level, at the business level, even at a startup level, I'm not even looking at a full mega organization, a multinational. I'm talking about a small startup level. They must have some idea. The leadership must have some idea of their talent requirements. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay. That level of clarity a leader should have in advance.
Yeah.
At least half a year in advance,
Yes.
if not 1 year in advance.
Yes.
Now, that information should be fed into the institutional system. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So, institutional systems should receive that information at least with a 6-month lead time. I hope you got it. That 6-month lead time minimum should be good enough for the institutions to adapt their teaching, learning, evaluation processes. It's not too bad, I'll put it that way. Sometimes we believe a set education pattern is going to be the solution to our higher educational needs. I'm afraid that theory needs very hard critical revision. Are you getting? I believe that the higher educational institutional systems must be adaptive and be very agile in adaptation. Are you getting it? So that they are synchronized with the needs of the organizations. And there are hundreds and thousands of organizations in India, starting from multinationals to startups.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even counting self-employment and higher education opportunities. Because if you look at proportions of people going into self-employment and higher education, it is a significant proportion. It may not be a majority, but it's a significant proportion, which is okay. So when you're looking at the employment market itself, this interplay of information between the world of work and the world of higher education has to be catalyzed.
I think expectations are very high. And number two, the job market, can be very dicey, and there are changing, necessities needed. And the question is whether we are also having courses that are relevant, and can our students be flexible to the new job opportunities. Many times, what you learn or I learn at universities does not finally fetch you the job. It is the way you use your knowledge in a job situation. That is what is a bent. So I wouldn't blame the education system. I would blame the way we orient our students. We have to tell them that the difference comes only if you are able to use your education to your job perspective or the demands of the company, the country, and others.
All IITs and NITs are actually all premier institutions around the country are guilty of driving away the manufacturing sector from their campuses, because the manufacturing companies obviously could not offer the kind of salaries that software companies were having. Right? So now we have a stage where infotech companies or the companies which are dealing with software technology side of it, they're not coming to the campuses because there seems to be a winter there. But manufacturing companies which were earlier coming there, say 20 years back, have stopped going there.
Yeah.
And this is bound to happen. There's a cycle that will correct itself. You just need to wait for a couple of years. At some point in time, you actually will have the core engineering coming to the rescue of these premier institutions, and software companies taking a step back. That's the right way to go about it.
core engineering, meaning mechanical.
Yeah,
What do you
mechanical, civil, automotive, aeronautical, all the other, anything that is not computer sciences or IT, I'd call it core engineering. And most of these companies have stopped going there because they couldn't match up to the salaries. They don't get the day zero. Even the students who were doing core engineering were ultimately joining a software company. So it created a problem in itself. And it's unfortunate that the IITs and NITs did not see through this problem that's likely to come. And now they have to deal with it, they have to face it. And I'm happy they're facing it because that's the only way they learn. Because otherwise they don't learn in the normal course, right?
There is another point here. A lot of students, especially in say IIT system, they are also now, very inclined to start, job after their program. They are also looking at other opportunities. They are also looking at, maybe starting their business. So there is a, big change in culture also. And also, if you look at the future of, work environment, I believe students are now, they are more like consultants. They are looking at some small projects, doing those projects. So things are changing very fast. And I think today, we as, vice chancellors, universities, we are more inclined, towards ensuring that everybody is getting placed. But if you look at from the perspective of students, they are looking at much wider options. They are looking at much wider opportunities to them. So we need to find out, identify which students are looking for, the placement opportunities. And then it's our responsibility to ensure that depending on their expert area, depending on their expertise, depending on what kind of role they would like to play, those kind of companies, need to be invited. Now, I believe in certain systems, which are old systems, this kind of mapping becomes difficult because there is a set of companies which is coming to those, universities or colleges while the students have moved on. They are now looking for different kind of roles with different kind of skill sets. So maybe in some systems, there can be a mismatch between the kind of companies which are visiting and the kind of, jobs which students are looking for. So this can be one of the reasons, of maybe in certain old institutions, reducing number of placements.
Indie Global Media Network, taking innovation, collaboration, and growth to the forefront.